Great fucking things, everyone. It's IT2, and I'm back again with some, I'm going to do like a mid-year update on my book situation. I know a lot of you don't give a shit, but for those of you that do, here are some books. Haven't been that too many book sales this year, but I have been saving them all in boxes and bags down below here. Let me update you on what I've read this year, because I haven't been making any book reviews. I have read Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. I guess it was about as good as the first book. Not really my cup of tea as far as Stormlight Archive is way better. I don't know, it just doesn't really do it for me the same. Let's see, I've read both of the second and the third books of the Lonesome Dove series, Dead Man's Walk and Streets of Laredo. They're not as good as the first book, but they're really good. But like for westerns, at least, because right now I'm reading Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy, and everybody says this is so violent and the main character is so crazy that you couldn't even make a movie about it. The same guy wrote No Country for Old Men, and the judge character is kind of similar to that guy in No Country for Old Men. And it's just brutal, fucking senseless violence and racism and everything. It's just like, you can't even explain why the motivations. Like, there's not a whole lot of a plot. Just like people are going around and they're killing Mexicans, I think, and they're pretending that they're Indian scalps because this is during the time of America where you could sell scalps of Indians. Like the I don't know, my friend at work told me what it was called. Anyway. Pretty sickening and gross. The Road was also similar. But anyway, Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. This is like one of my favorites of this year. 5 stars. I can't wait to read the sequel. I'm not going to tell you what it's about. It's just really good. You need to check it out. It's fantasy. Then I read like Fonda Lee's Jade War. Second book of the Green... what's it called? The Green Bone Saga. Asian fantasy. Again, not really my cup of tea. I think I would give it like 3 stars. But I want to get... I mean, it was better than the first one, maybe. It's hard to say. And then I got into the Robin Hobbs because I needed some 5 stars. Fool's Errand and The Golden Fool. These are both 5 stars. Excellent books. Especially since... some people were saying, I think Mike's book review said The Golden Fool gets really boring because there's like 100 or 200 pages of just describing a castle, which isn't exactly what's going on. It's just more of a slice of life thing. You're kind of getting what the world is like in this situation where people have the ability to talk to animals and they're really persecuted, and it's just the wolf finally dies. Big spoiler. And he has to deal with that. He has to deal with having these kids that don't know that he's their father, and they have the same kind of abilities and problems because he's like the Job character that's been put through fucking hell, and now his kids have the same kind of situation. They don't even know. He has to kind of like mentor them without mentoring them, you know, and like one of them is the prince. One of them is this girl that's just kind of going insane because she doesn't know what's happening to her or why. And her father is like, he's super anti this ability, and like, it's a bunch of crazy stuff. It's awesome, though. And it leads into the Dragon Saga that's going to be like the next quadrilogy that comes after this. So, I didn't have the next book in the series, which is why I just bought all the other books that I was missing because those were so good. So I just got this in the mail. Let's see how good the quality is on these. I haven't opened it up yet. Fool's Quest. Which book is this? I think this is the last trilogy. And then I got Fool's Fate. I think this is the next one I need to read. And then I got to read the 4 dragon ones. That's these 4 right here. The smaller ones that don't really match. And then I've got the Assassin's Quest, I think. Fool's Assassin up there. And then I got Assassin's Fate and Fool's Quest. That's like... these titles are really confusing, but the last 3, they're all like this weird holographic foil looking kind of a... and they're really thick, too. Look how thick these are. These are chunkers. Which I can't get enough of Robin Hobb, so that's good. Alright, look at that. I'm really hyped about it. I also need to start putting these books into my spreadsheet so I can put them back on the shelf. Let's put these here for now. Now, let's go through the books that I got when I went and visited, or I took my mom and dad to, my dad had to have surgery, and we went to Lexington, where I used to live, as you all probably know. So I went around to the Goodwills in Lexington. I got Innocent Mage by Karen Miller, Kingmaker, Kingbreaker, Book 1. It's a Book 1, so some fantasy series I've never heard of, so it seems a good idea. Gail Z. Martin, The Summoner, Book 1 of the Chronicles of the Necromancer. Necromancers seem cool. 600 plus pages, chunker. Seems dope. Where am I putting these? I can't put them with the books I've already read because I need to put those back on the shelf. I've got The Triumph of the Dwarves. This is one of those Marcus Heights books about dwarves. He's got the orcs and he's got the dwarf series. Not sure which number this is. Ancillary Sword by Ann Leckie. This is pretty popular sci-fi. I was just looking for this mark. Anytime I see the orbit mark at Half Price Books, I'll get it. And then I got... Okay. This one is Blood of the Gods. Book 2 of the Ascension Cycle. David Mealing. See, I've got to watch because a lot of these books look similar to ones I bought later. I think this is a whole trilogy. No, it's not. Okay. Now I'm getting confused. Book 2 of Rook and Rose, The Liar's Knot by M.A. Carrick. $2 I paid for this. Trade paperback. Fucking fantastic deals. What was this one? $2? $2. Straight On Till Morning, A Twisted Tale. This is like a retelling of Peter Pan. What If Wendy First Traveled to Neverland with Captain Hook by Liz Braswell. A lot of girls are into all these like retellings of old fairy tale shit. This was like a Goodwill, $1.59 or something. They raised their prices. This is a different version. I already have this one, but this is Arabian Nights. But it's like this fancy old, looks like a leather bound, which I don't think this is leather. Maybe it is. It says Veritas on the side. 1001 Nights. Who wrote it? It was like an anthology of like different authors, I think, who wrote this, right? Deluxe edition. This is where you get the story of Aladdin and Alibaba. And other stuff. It's got that old type font text, whatever it's called. Alright. So after that, this is just some more Goodwill purchases, probably. I think I bought these ones recently. What do we got in here? Oh, here's a book that I've already read, but I didn't own a copy of. Read this in high school. Catcher in the Rye. J.D. Salinger. Classic. Mexican Gothic. This is like one of the top books 2 or 3 years ago. I didn't own a copy, apparently. Sylvia Moreno Garcia. Horror movie, or a horror book about Mexico or something. And then we got a John Grisham, Bleachers. It's like a thin, short book. Greg Bear Vitals, sci-fi guy. I think this is sci-fi. Could be a modern mystery or something. And then we got A Life in Parts by Bryan Cranston. $1.59. These are all like just Goodwill purchases. And then we haven't even gotten to this stack here yet. Got another John Grisham at a different Goodwill. Sycamore Row. Don't think I have that. Sarah Lott's The Three. This one, the day that 4 passenger planes crashed is almost exactly the same moment at 4 different points around the globe. There are only 4 survivors. 3 are children who emerged from the wreckage seemingly unhurt, but they are not unchanged. Sounds pretty wild. Like it should be a TV show or something. Then we we got another Howard Stern book. I didn't know we had this one, Miss America. Yeah, I've heard of that. I've heard of that. Never mind. Howard Stern, Miss America. And then we've got another Goodwill bag. I don't know where I'm going to put all these. I'm going to get another little shelf. The Book of Fate, Brad Meltzer. This one's about the Masons, Freemasons, I think. And then we've got Sandy Hook, An American Tragedy and the Battle for the Truth. Now, I'm one of those Sandy Hook kind of conspiracy theorists, but that'll get you canceled, like Alex Jones. So I'm curious what this book says. Crisis actors, all really interesting stuff. The Land of Stories, Worlds Collide, Chris Colfer. I know I bought the same book by him twice, and I'm sure this one is a different book, but it's the same kind of series I already started. I got this Neil Gaiman Neverwhere paperback. Neil Gaiman, supposed to be a really awesome writer. He wrote Sandman and all those. Coraline. He wrote Coraline. And I finally found Red Dragon, the first of the Thomas Harris book about Silence of the Lambs guy, the cannibal, Hannibal Lecter, Hannibal the Cannibal. So this is the one that starts the whole series off, and it's kind of hard to find. Even though I read that one book, Harry Mora or whatever by him, and it was dog shit. He writes it. I mean, Cormac McCarthy, he writes bad, but he writes beautiful things, sort of, in a beautiful way. But he doesn't write well. Like, he doesn't even, like, put quotation marks around dialogue and shit like that. And he does, like, he uses a lot of words. Like, every other sentence is a word you've never heard for no reason. He could have used a simple word that everybody knows, but he doesn't do that. He's an asshole. But it kind of has good imagery or something. Thomas Harris, the Harry Moore book, it was just dog crap. Like a turd on a plate. It was just not even that. So, hopefully, I mean, if you make a movie about a guy's book, it must be kind of decent on some level, right? It has to be. Alright, I'm really running out of space on my desk for books, so I don't know how I'm going to start doing this. It's kind of getting ridiculous in my house. My book is just a huge book depository at this point. Alright. Now we have, I found a Terry Pratchett book, Thud. Any Terry Pratchett I don't have, I'm going to get. And I found Napalm and Silly Putty by George Carlin, or the comedian biography or book about stuff. Found a James Rollins Signal Force book I didn't have, The Eye of God. And I found another Michio Kaku book, The Future of the Mind. I've read Parallel Universes, and it was pretty good, so. This one's got the little slip in it. Or it's a different slip. No, it's not. And then I got Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. This is a very famous novel. Put it with my classics. And then I got nothing left, so we're finally done with this box. This box here, I think, is just books that my mom borrowed. And she almost gave them away to Goodwill. So that's where I got them. Like, what are you doing? You're just giving the books back that I paid money for. So I took them. So now these books. There's a slip. They're having a summer reading challenge. You can get. It's like a bingo card. You get 10% off. I'm not doing that. All right, we've got Age of Iron by Angus Watson. Orbit. $3. We've got Warriors of God by Andrei Shpkowski, the guy that did The Witcher. $3. See, that sounds really similar. What was that other book? Blood of the Gods by David Mealing. See, I'm getting confused. Like, did I already buy that? I don't know. This one's got a bookmark in it. Look at the little fox. Little fox bookmark. Nice. Free bookmarks. I like that. The Winter Road. Adrian Selby. This is part of a series? Nope. Seems to be, well, he's wrote another book called Snakewood. Might be a standalone. Alright. This one looks pretty fucked up on the sides. This one is The Dread Worm, book 3 of the Trader's Sun cycle. I've heard of the Trader's Sun cycle by Miles Cameron. Was it Mike's Book Reviews or Andrew Watson? Is that his name? I think one of them was always mentioning this. $3. Oh, this is some small font. At 600 pages almost. It's going to be kind of a chonker. Then we've got Thief's Magic by Trudy Canavan. This is book 1 of Millennium's Rule. So we got a book 1 trilogy or quadrilogy or something for $4. Then we got, this one's nice. I've been looking for this hardcover. Ken Follett, The Armor of Light. This is the 4th book in the Kingsbridge. I forgot what the first book's called. The second one's Column of Fire, which I'm on. About building a castle in medieval, fictional, well, it's like, yeah, medieval Europe. It's pretty dope. $5 for a hardcover. Pretty nice deal. This one's $5 also. This is one I was missing. Brent Weeks, Burning White. This is part of that. Oh no, I already have it. What the frick? I thought I used my phone and everything. I looked this up and it said I didn't have it. Book 5 of Lightbringer. Damn. I've duped again. So I'm missing book 3 and 4. Shit. Yep, I already have this. This is $5 wasted. Alright, and then I found Stephen King that I was missing from a Buick 8 short stories. Usually he has 4 big short stories in his compilations or anthologies. I don't know if this is one of the, I think Everything's Eventual has several. Or maybe it's 8 stories from a Buick. I don't know. He wrote them in a car. So looks like it's 1 story. Damn. Is this 1 story? Shit, I think it is. I thought this was an anthology. No, it's a novel. This is, I think, when he had a car crash. He wrote a book about him having his car crash or like related to it or something. And then, finally, and last but not least, Read Me, whatever you want to call it, from Neil Stevenson. Kind of like the Fall. It's one of those really thick boys. 1,000 pages. I really should have checked if I liked Neil Stevenson before I keep buying 1,000-page books by Neil Stevenson. But they look freaking cool. I don't know what they are, if they're sci-fi or they're hacker kind of. Snow Crash is really popular among like fantasy booktubers. And Quicksilver, that kind of series, but it says 1972, Richard Fortress, the black sheep of an Iowa farming clan, fled to the mountains of British Columbia to avoid the draft. Skilled hunting guide, he eventually amassed a fortune by smuggling marijuana across the border between Canada and Idaho. As the years passed, he went straight and returned to the States after the U.S. government granted amnesty to draft dodgers. He parlayed his wealth into an empire and developed a remote resort in which he lives. He also created T-Rain, a multi-billion-dollar, massively multiplayer online role-playing game with millions of fans. Oh, it's about gaming. Of course, that's why he's like a video game sci-fi guy. Kind of like this guy, Neil Grossman, or not Lev Grossman? Austin Grossman. Or Ernest Cline, one of those kind of guys. I'm assuming. Anyway, that's all of the book stuff I have to talk about right now. And I'll see you guys later.